Send it down low towards Colm Judge, son of Eugene Judge, who played so many years for the wee county. Shane Lennon, marking by Westmeath, is just a little bit loose, I feel. And Shane Lennon puts it over the bar. Paul Greville, Desi Dolan. Thought about turning inside Desi Finnegan. Dolan has a goal, and that's over the bar.
There was no way he was going to score a goal. At best, he was able to take his point, and he did it very well.
Breaking ball. So vital in Gaelic football. Coming through, left half forward, Adrian Reid. This is a good opportunity for Louth. Blazed over the crossbar. Paddy Keenan. Easy interception by Mark Brennan. Lays it off as Adrian Reid. Passing the Westmeath 45. Stepping up into third gear. Hitting it onto the left foot and raising a white flag. Louth looked very dangerous going forward. 6 to Louth, 4 to Westmeath. Dennis Glennon, much more dangerous near goal. This looks good. It's straight over. It's his first point in this particular match. Mark Brennan, and the county champions. In low fires, Judge. White, under pressure when he was taking the kick. It's 2 against 2. Oh, well won. There's a chance here for Farrell, and he gets it across. And Lennon puts it over the bar. And away we go. Second half. Westmeath playing from left to right. Got a little bit cooler here, but it's still a beautiful evening for Gaelic football. As Paul Greville drops this in, and I think it's sliced off the post and over the bar. There's this good start for Westmeath. Into the space for Porrick Smith. Gets inside the cover. Oh, he did well. Good score by the substitute. Coming on at half-time for Andy MacDonald. And Porrick Smith shows his determination, but also shows he has a bit of football. Nice ball inside for Dennis Glennon. He's the one man who can score goals. He's brought down. The referee hasn't indicated. He's going in. Is that a hand signal? Is that just a free? That is a penalty, I think.
He's given it, I think, Marky, yep.
It's Paul Bannon from Atlow, facing Neil Gallagher from Cooley Kickouts. Bannon, right into the middle of the net. No question. Adrian Reid passes into the Westmeath half of the field. Down for his Colm Judge, who continues to show well for the ball. In fact, this is Maguire. Maguire gives it inside. There's a nice little bit of work. It's 1 against 1. Lays it off. This is Judge. Here's a goal. Louth could well be on their way to the Leinster final. You can hear the cheers going back 50 years. 1960 is the last time Louth got to a Leinster final. What a day will be if they achieve it here. Damien Healy gives it to John Smith, who in turn brings Paul Greville into the action. That's a pretty long ball. And Flanagan is underneath it. He's only one thing on his mind, and he's got it. Brilliant play. Here comes the long ball strategy. This is what Flanagan has been shouting for. Gets inside the cover. Watch the finish. Neatly done. The wee county are going to be back in the big time, and they're there for the first time in 50 years. It's Louth against Meath in the Leinster final. It's the first time for the wee county heading back to Croke Park. Hear the tears of joy, tears of emotion. 50 years are now gone by. They're heading back into the big time of Gaelic football, and these people can hardly believe it. Full-time score, Louth 115, Westmeath 210.
It was difficult to understand why we were so nervous, like, but credit to the players, like, they put in huge effort all along, and to come back and to fight so hard in the end, I thought they were excellent to do that, like, you know, and we're probably just maybe unlucky in the end not to get maybe an equaliser out of it.
They pushed us, they shoved us, and, you know, in fairness, like to Pat Flanagan and his management team, I thought they were fantastic. I thought they were very unlucky. I thought we were lucky today, but yet again, I think after 50 years, I think we did have a wee bit of luck. I was one of the first people to be cheering on Westmeath when they won the Leinster in 2004, and all I'd say is thanks be to God we won today.
That's fair enough, Peter. Dara, that's a great achievement for Louth, isn't it? Story of the weekend.
There was more than thanks be to God involved. I think the better team certainly won. I think they got maybe over-exuberant towards the end, you know, and they got maybe a bit nervous when they saw the finishing line in sight, and they made a few elemental errors toward the end. That's understandable after 50 years.
But the celebrations are great, aren't
amazing
they?
scenes, amazing scenes. And, you know, I suppose we were decrying the decline of the provincial championships. They obviously mean an awful lot to a lot of teams still, and it's great to see that. But, you know, Westmeath did make a very, very good comeback, and I thought what was key was the response to the Westmeath penalty. They brought it back to a point. Next thing, Louth get 1-2 without reply, and it's a 6-point game again.
Kevin, you know this Louth manager fairly well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you can see it from the pictures. His enthusiasm is infectious, and like Fitzer, he just lives this for Louth, you know, and the idea that he's brought them now to a Leinster final is terrific for him. I think he lost 6 semi-finals himself in his playing career. But his team, it's about the team. The team, as Dara said, were terrific, and good luck to them. They need to keep a lid on things now for a few weeks because they've Leinster final ahead of them and they've a big day's work against Meath.
OK, Dara, you were hugely impressed with their midfield.
Yeah, I suppose even the top teams, let's say, they have a dominant midfielder and a midfielder who does the grafting. But these lads, Brian White and Paddy Keenan, they're well able to catch ball and they're well able to play ball as well. They kick 6 points between them, but what was well impressive today, primary possession from their own kick-outs and from the Westmeath kick-outs every time. Neil Gallagher didn't have a whole lot to do, just get it out there, and these lads get up. Paddy Keenan will catch it all day for you. And likewise Brian White. Paddy Keenan adds a bit of graft, Brian White is a bit more stylish, but it's hard to actually determine who the dominant partner is. They just take turns at catching, and they're both well able to field ball.
They complement each other, don't they?
They complement each other very well.
6 points from play there is a great return, isn't it?
It's a great return, but they need all this possession that the lads are winning in midfield, because they were a small bit wasteful in the forwards and they won't get away with that in the Leinster final. But just winning that possession, it's hard won possession and storming through, and they're a scoring threat. Anytime you have a midfielder who's a scoring threat, it spells danger straight away once they get that ball.
One occasion in which they stormed through for their goal was the turning point, you felt, because Westmeath might have had a strong case.
Yeah, we were discussing this earlier on, and myself and Kevin feel that, you know, on first look it looked like a foul, but I don't think it was. I think Eamon McCauley does very, very well here initially to put pressure on Dennis Glennon, and then John O'Brien does a great steal. Eamon McCauley gives a great outlet pass there to Adrian Reid, and the pitch opens up in front of him. And another point to make, I suppose, the substitutions worked very, very well for Louth today. They showed an awful lot of energy towards the end, and Derek Maguire does really well here. I know there'll be a bit of disappointment with Westmeath with the slip, but he does really well, very composed. He was just on the field a couple of minutes, and Colm Judge shows great composure. But that made it a 6-point game, opened up a huge gap. As I say, Louth got a small bit nervous towards the end, but that goal gave them the cushion that they were to allow for that nervousness.
Can't blame them for that. Well done on that. What about a quick word in the final, Kevin?
Well, as I said, they've a serious bit of work ahead of them, and there's going to be an awful lot of hype around Louth, so I think that'll be Fitzer's biggest job, is try and cool it. But look, I was at the Offaly game the night they took out Kildare. I was at that game, and they've played really, really good football, and they play with a nice abandon, so they're going to be well up for it. As long as they're not naive or getting nervous over the Leinster final, they'll do fine.
But the winners will be?
I think Meath, you'd have to say at this stage.
All right, what about today again then, the contenders for man of the match there?
Well, we spoke earlier about the midfielders, so obviously we've got to talk about Brian White initially. I thought his beautiful style set the tone very early on in the game with a few points. Lovely free taker as well, and great fielding ability. Paddy Keenan, his midfield partner, was certainly one of the top 3 players today. Again, adds a bit of graft to Brian White's style. And of the backs, and I thought it was a decent enough defensive performance today by Louth. I thought John O'Brien played very, very well in the backs.
All right then, and the award, Kevin, goes to?
Well, we took our time picking it, because there really were some terrific performances, but in an overall sense, we decided we'd give it to Paddy Keenan, because, you know, we talked about the points from play, 3 points from play, and excellent fetching and hard work, but he also did some lovely simple things. These clips are highlighting, you know, the extravagant or the fabulous pieces of play that Keenan accomplished during the match, but he did an awful lot of easy things. Lincoln play, dirty old work, just nice little hand passes, keeping them going. And on a night of nights, or an evening of evenings for Louth, I'm delighted that Paddy Keenan gets his day in the sun. He was terrific today.
OK, well, let's hear then from the man of the match, Paddy Keenan.
Paddy, congratulations. What has been the difference for Louth this year?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know. It's hard to put one finger on what it was. But look, whatever Peter brought to the team, he brought a whole new enthusiasm and everything to it. He brought a few new young lads in, and it just worked. And you could see it out there. The running never stopped, and the tackling and the work rate never stopped. So look, it doesn't matter how we did in the end. We're just happy to get the Leinster final.
So you put it down to Peter?
Well, a large part of it, yeah. You have to give the man credit and fairness to him. He's